Hello world, Switch here again. What's missing? One of the most important questions that anyone can ask, in my view. And I've been asking that question in various ways since my childhood, because there was a lot missing there. And as to why it turned out to be the school system and the government and all kinds of things. So, take a recent example with these disability cuts, payment cuts and PIP cuts, whatever, for the Labour government. That seems to be very cruel and heartless, and based on what people say to me, and I, from personally, from someone I know who actually suffers from these cuts. What's missing there is compassion and any kind of proper management of in Parliament, because that's kind of an unconstitutional thing to do. So the government should not be making people suffer. They should be caring for us as much as possible. And to say, well, I have money, I've got the money, that's bollocks. They've got the money. It's a lie. Just dishonesty. And honesty is missing. It's a core problem. It's written into the Constitution as the Nolan Principles, along with leadership and I think courage, sort of things like that. But they aren't enforced. In fact, our Constitution is so weak, and it's largely got a lot to do with the monarchy rather than just principles of democracy or whatever. It's just pathetic. It's just piss poor. And what's missing is compassion. Not just for the disabled and so forth, but for the homeless. They're still not cared for, still not catered for, worldwide. The next question is, why is that? I can't be the only one who thinks they should be housed. I know it costs money, but a lot of things cost money. And the money is not that great by government standards. When I say housing, I was thinking of a very basic, one-room apartment job. Maybe a shared kitchen, shared bathroom, possibly. Like dormitories. It's better than being on the streets. And it could be done by refurbishing office blocks. You don't need a car parking space. You still have cars. You just need houses, a bed and a roof, and somewhere to eat and cook and so forth. That's all they need, really. Many people they want, but that's all they need. And and healthcare and so forth. And the right to vote, because they've now got a registered address, they can now then vote. What's missing is a sense of order and decency and what used to be Christian values, or not just Christian, but Muslim values, all kinds of religious noble values. Order of the heart, that's what's missing. Rationality is missing. Science is missing in government, which is a large gap, huge one. In Parliament is So yeah, I find this one quite disturbing. The way things are just left to fester and rot and so forth. What's missing is any kind of awareness of what's going on for starters. Very, very poor education. For example, most people don't know how the government works or democracy works. They've got very little clue, really. And even I wouldn't have known. I went to a grammar school, but if I hadn't studied economics and public affairs, as I did at A-level, I would not have known much about the government. As I found out myself. We weren't taught it otherwise. National Grammar School. And this is a democracy, supposed to be. But there's little thought given to people on the ground. Hardly any. So what's missing in government is awareness of what actually happens in the large, in many cases of people just suffering from housing issues and so forth. There's a lot missing, in other words, a lot. It's quite strange. What's there, the bias, the anger, the division, the chaos, is largely a consequence of people not knowing what's going on and not being taught to question the government or whatever. Just poor education. So there's huge gaps in education, just massive ones. The most important being know thyself, be aware of your own drives and what motivates you to make decisions, and indeed how does one make decisions. What's that process? And what's the way to improve it? So yeah, what's missing is the first question of many. The other ones are why is that missing and how did that occur and so forth. So I'll leave you that question. Bye for now.